Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the grand poobah. So, welcome aboard. Tonight is Monday, October 26th, 2020. This is episode 561 of The Daily Dope. If this is your first time joining me, thank you very much. Really do appreciate you taking time to check out the show. If you are returning to catch the show once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I definitely appreciate you taking time to kick back and join me for the latest in tabletop gaming news. Of course, if you like this video, be sure, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to that channel if you haven't, and you know that channel is The Gaming Gang. And of course, if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Get some notifications. It'll let you know when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursdays right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as, I don't know, possibly my Gates of Delirium. Ooh, scatty kids, scatty. Which is coming tomorrow. You will see that uploaded tomorrow. Well, okay, it's in the can, just not up yet. This week's going to have a lot of reviews. Anyway, of course, do want to also mention, if you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. This is a live stream, so of course that means there is chat available on YouTube. It's not on screen. One of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I'll do my best to respond. So far, I believe a gray day was the first out the gate to say hello in chat. So we've got a gray day. We've got Dan from No Enemies here, who just announced the Charles Roberts, it's Charles S. Roberts, if I remember correctly, awards yesterday on his show, which is called No Enemies Here. Interesting. The chat name's the same, eh? Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. So if you want to check out, I believe, Dan will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the gents over at the Players Aid won a Charles S. Roberts Award for Best War Game Reviews and Commentary or something along those lines. Very nice. Very cool. So Alexander and Grant, award winners. So now they can say the award-winning Players Aid. How about that? All right. Who else we got in chat? Flaming Huron's here. Good to see Flaming Huron. Jason Washburn from Talon Strikes Games is hanging out. Geez, I wonder why. Am I going to talk about something from Talon Strikes? Do you know? The vinyl review is also coming this week. So, lots of goodies. So I think that's everybody. I think that's everybody who's in chat at the moment. So got a good amount of news today. I've got a good eclectic mix of news as well. Do want to say I will have something I want to share with you after the news. And I'm like, I don't know. It's something I'm kind of bouncing around. So I'm going to kind of just bounce that out there after the news. Let's jump on into the news because now available from Garfield Games, I know some people think it's Garphill. It is not. It's Garfill, because that's a kind of bird. Games and Renegade Game Studios comes Raiders of Scythia. Here's the dope. Many centuries ago, the Greek, Persian, and Assyrian empires controlled vast amounts of land and riches. Yet, despite their fortifications and imposing armies, rumors began spreading of a formidable foe in the lands above the Black Sea. They came on horseback, fierce warriors, both male and female, skilled with the sword, axe, and bow. But they weren't mindless savages. Their artisans were renowned for their ability to craft detailed trinkets of gold. They fashioned leather armor and improvised the recurve bow. They trained eagles for hunting and war. Some even believe they inspired the Greek tales of the Amazons. But they were more than legend or fable. They were the Raiders of Scythia. The aim of Raiders of Scythia is to be the player with the most victory points at the end of the game. It's kind of the aim of many games. VPs are gained by raiding settlements, taking plunder, and completing quests. Players will need to assemble a crew, train animals, and gather provisions. The game ends when there are only 2 unraided settlements or 2 quests remaining on the main board. Raiders of Cthia is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays around 60 to 90 minutes, and does carry an MSRP of $55. So taking a look at this, probably doesn't take much to figure out that this is a Shem Phillips design, and this is based on, or I guess it utilizes some of the same mechanics as Raiders of the North Sea, which I happen to like a lot. Got to be honest, my nephew Cameron loves that game. My brother kind of liked that game too. We got him to play it one day, although we shellacked him. We smoked him like a cheap cigar. He came in a very, very distant third in the game. So very cool. I do like the Shem Phillips releases that I have had an opportunity to play. I haven't gotten to play a lot of them because I don't usually get a lot of stuff from Renegade Game Studios to review, which is why that Gates of Delirium review is going to be something different, because it has been a long time since I reviewed something from Renegade. But this is pretty cool, and $55 MSRP, that's pretty fair. I know I've seen it for quite a bit less in the some of the online retailers. So something to keep an eye out. One thing I will mention, if you have Raiders of the North Sea, it has those metal coins, which is one of the reasons why Cameron loves it. I don't know. They're just metal coins. They are cool, but I don't sit there going, well, you know, if Raiders of the North Sea didn't have those metal coins, I wouldn't be playing. It's just kind of a cool extra, but this does not have those. They are available separately, but I do not believe that this $55 MSRP edition has metal coins. Something to keep in mind. All right, so I see the madman has joined us in chat. Jason Washburn says, "'Cause I'm awesome," is why he's here. And to make sure that I actually get this news piece correct, I'm sure, because my next news piece is about a Kickstarter that is currently running for, you guessed it, Talon Strikes Games. Here's the dope on Shadow Network. 1960. Cold War is upon the world. In the dark shadows, agencies are gathering intelligence on financial institutions, political figures, military installations, and top secret technology advancements. However, where one agency thinks they have exclusive access on intel, leaks within the network cause information to spill around the world. Which agency will be able to gather enough intel on their high-profile targets, and at what costs? Who will have built the best shadow network? Shadow Network is a worker placement style game where players are deploying their agents around the globe, collecting fragments of intel. These fragments are then promoted to an actionable state that can be used against a high-profile target and earning players influence, the currency in the game. As the players gather intel from a city, intel is also leaked to other cities, thereby potentially helping other agencies. Additional agents can be deployed, but at a cost. Furthermore, handlers can assist with exchanging intel, thereby giving the agency the leg up. At the end of 4 rounds of play, agencies will bribe their high-profile targets for more influence. At the end, the player with the most influence is the winner! Ding, 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 ding! There is a short, it's a little more than 2 minutes, Kickstarter video from Talon Strikes. So let's kick back and give it a watch.
Good morning, Ms. Peters. The photo you're looking at is Mr. Graves, a suspected agent from an underground criminal organization known as Black Talon. He recently arrived in New York and is pretending to work for Surrey Enterprises, the world's leading telecommunications company. He's currently collecting intelligence on government operations of the United Nations and sending it to an unknown party in the Far East. This game, should you choose to back it, will play over the course of 4 rounds and allow you to control and dispatch a team of well-trained agents to key cities around the world. Your agents will collect valuable intelligence in each city they travel to and send it back to your headquarters. This captured data can then be used to create dossiers, which will be traded to the high-level classified subjects in exchange for global influence. As agents move around the world, information will be leaked out through the airwaves or to undercover informants in other cities. You can grow your shadow operation by increasing the number of agents on your payroll, as well as using handlers to exchange your information with other entities. This will help you to collect the much-needed global influence to continue your operations. The black market is also at your disposal and will move from city to city over the course of the game. At the black market, you may obtain new handlers, agents, secret contracts, and valuable intelligence. At the conclusion of the game, the organization with the most influence will emerge as the leading shadow network of global information. Be advised that if you or any member of your organization is caught, all governments and agencies will disavow all knowledge, and you will be hunted down. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck.
Shadow Network is for 1 to 5 players, ages 12 and up. Plays at around 75 to 90 minutes. If you choose to accept this Kickstarter, you can reserve a copy of the game as well as stretch goals for a $39 pledge through November 2nd. This is a shorter Kickstarter. I believe it launched, I think, on the 20th. I might be wrong. Anyway, expected delivery of the game is November of next year. So if you have any specific questions about Shadow Network, you can ask Jason, who's hanging out here in chat, and he will let you know. Right, so a few items that popped up in chat. Something I want to mention, kind of coming off topic a little bit. So it snowed this morning here in the wonderful suburbs of Chicago. It did not snow in the Duct Tape Studios, but it did snow outside. I was like, it's like, come on, it's October 26th. Really? Really? So yes, so I did tweet that out. I also shared it on Facebook too. So I see that a Gray Day must have seen that picture. It says, holy cow, Jeff's backyard is huge. It is fairly large, and it's a ride-on mower is how that gets mowed. So just so you know. Do want to point out, it's not my house, though. It's my father's house. So anyway, otherwise, I would probably be in an apartment somewhere and probably not have any kind of backyard. So Jason is pointing out that there is solo ways to play Shadow Network, 2 ways to play against the bots. You also have some missions as well. And you're very welcome, Jason, for me sharing the coverage. It's no big deal. One thing, while we're talking about that, somebody had asked me once, actually, I've had people over the years ask me a lot of times, but I just had somebody email me asking very recently, how come I waste all this time on these little companies? And it's sort of like, because other websites, podcasts, shows out there, they're not talking about them. They're not talking about these little companies unless these little companies go out there and pay these other outlets to provide any sort of coverage, right? So companies like my next news story is about or from don't really need, me, sounding the horn of, info about them, giving a clarion call to check them out. So anyway, so Brian Gronberg has joined us. Good to see you, Brian. Thanks for swinging on in. A Great A says, little companies support communities. That's why. One of the aspects I should point out, and if you follow the Gaming Gang, you probably already know this, especially if you followed the Gaming Gang for a long time. But great example was Victory Point Games. Victory Point Games, they had games that were all in Ziploc bags. They were good games, but there were really no outlets out there who would even mention them outside. I think it was Fortress Ameritrash. And I'm not knocking Tom Vassell, but Tom Vassell went on record during one of his shows and said, Victory Point Games, I wouldn't touch those games with like a 10-foot pole or something along those lines, because they were all kind of like desktop publishing components, even though the games are really good. Well, Gaming Gang covered them, covered a lot of their games, and other people started, picking up the baton too and talking about their games. And suddenly, after a few years, Victory Point Games started releasing games that looked like every other major publisher's games out there, coming over on the slow boat from China. Of course, they were sold to Tabletop Tycoon, but still, you never know, you never know. You give some of these companies a leg up, help them out, because believe me, a lot of companies out there are struggling right now during this pandemic. Granted, board gaming is really, as a whole, as an industry, tabletop gaming's doing very well. Because what the F else you gonna do when you're stuck in the house? Which is coming again. You watch here in the US. Get ready for those lockdowns. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so, but there are still companies out there that are really struggling to stay afloat, even though board gaming and tabletop gaming is having, I don't think it's going to be a record-breaking year, but they are having a good year overall. Anyway, so small companies, big companies, if something looks cool, something catches my eye, I am more than happy to share the info about it. So I also want to point out, I missed saying hello to Melwinius from York, has arrived in chat. And Philadelphia Piper has joined us as well. Philadelphia Piper says, a little late watching the SCOTUS nomination vote. Yes, the Monday Night Football is coming on, or they may have already kicked off. It's the Bears, so nobody be telling me any scores here. Plus, I'm rooting for Tampa Bay to even up the World Series. which is unusual because normally, as a National League fan, I would be rooting for the National League team. But the Rays are another team that have kind of got a soft spot. They're kind of like the Oakland A's. They don't have huge payrolls, but they're ultra competitive year in, year out. All right, moving right along. As I mentioned, this next company I'm going to talk about doesn't need me talking about them. And maybe they wouldn't want me talking about them. But arriving in Q2 next year from Fantasy Flight Games is Descent, Legends of the Dark. And let's jump on over. Bam! Here's the dope. Terranoth is in peril. The demon-tainted Ulthic Young barbarians stalk the realm, and the undead servants of Whitecar the Undying venture beyond their borders for the first time in memory. The leaders of Terranoth are divided and fractious, unable to unite against these common threats. And in the northern barony of Forthen, the stage is set for the next great confrontation between Terranoth and the forces of darkness. For years, your journeys have taken you across the fantasy realm of Terranoth, venturing into dark forests, shadowy cities, ancient crypts, and misty swamps. But your true legend is about to begin. Forge your own legend together with friends as you adventure across the vibrant fantasy realm of Terranoth in the cooperative dungeon crawling board game Descent, Legends of the Dark. Powered by an integrated free companion app, Descent Legends of the Dark puts you in the role of a budding hero with their own playstyle and abilities. Together with your unlikely companions, you'll begin an unexpected adventure, an adventure told across the 16 quests of the Blood and Flame campaign. Throughout your campaign, you'll face undead lurking in the midst, demonic barbarians stalking the wilds, and even more terrifying threats. With 46 pieces of 3D terrain and 40 hero and monster miniatures to draw you into the game, your greatest adventure is yet before you. Your objectives will change from quest to quest as you follow the overarching story of the campaign. Core gameplay mechanics such as combat, fatigue, skills, items, and more have received completely new interpretations with Legends of the Dark, while a new approach to scenario layout and 3D terrain creates striking multi-level scenarios. The app also brings new changes to gameplay, introducing enemies with adaptable strategies, complex status effects, and triggers fully managed by the app, and the ability to develop your heroes based on the choices you make in scenarios. You'll also uncover a wealth of activity between scenarios, such as crafting, shopping in the city, upgrading equipment, and more. Because of these various differences, Descent Legends of the Dark is not compatible with Descent Journeys in the Dark and its expansions. There is a short teaser trailer. It's about a minute. So, we'll pop in, take a quick peek. Descent Legends of the Dark is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 2 to 3 hours. I assume that's per scenario, and is going to carry an MSRP of $174.95 when it arrives next spring. So there is some discussion in chat about Descent Legends of the Dark, especially the price tag. That is a hefty, hefty price tag. So I do want to say hello to Gareth Graham. Gareth has joined us in chat. How do you do? Welcome aboard. And Ed Mac Daddy is popping in. First time in live chat. Good to see you, Ed Mac. Welcome aboard. Make yourself comfortable. So, Descent Legends of the Dark. Gotta be honest. The sculpts look okay from what I've seen. There's not a lot of images out there for this game, and they are not very large. So it's a little difficult to see just how good the sculpts look. But I have to say, and I think a grade A agrees with me on this, the art style, I don't like it at all. I think that is some pretty cheesy, cartoony looking art. And on a $175 game, nah. Nah. It doesn't look like the sculpts reflect that artwork, though. That's kind of an odd thing. Other aspect of this game that I am not super keen on, outside, of course, that whopping price tag for essentially 40 miniatures and some 3D terrain and no doubt some tiles and counters and tokens and things like that. It's app-driven. I am not a fan of app-driven games. I don't mind games that have an app element to them as long as you can play the game without the app. And there's a reason behind that. First off, there's no guarantee that FFG is going to continue to support that app. So if they decide they're no longer going to support that app, you're going to be SOL, especially having it on a tablet or smartphone where you have updates and then suddenly you have apps that are no longer compatible. That's why you've got apps that update following an update to your OS. Other aspect I'm not too keen of as far as it being app driven is also people don't necessarily always have the most modern tech. People, not everybody's got like the latest smartphones or the latest tablets. And once again, these apps may not necessarily work on somebody's phone. So if you purchase the game, you open it up, go to install the app, and you're like, okay, the app doesn't work. Now you're SOL. Now you're turning around trying to sell what you just bought. But of course, now it's open. So I don't know. I have no idea. I will finish up this news piece by saying I did play Descent Journeys in the Dark. Elliot had it. Elliot's kind of a big fan of Descent. And of course, he was kind of the GM for it, which I will say, this Legends of the Dark, you no longer need a player to play as the game master. So that's cool. But I found it kind of boring. I thought it dragged. I did not think it was a very engaging game, but that's just me. Anyway, so a few people, Mel Winius is also pointing out that they're not a fan of app-supported board games because it defeats the purpose of playing with your friends. A Great A says, I just play a PC game. So, I don't know. All right, Ibram is in chat with us. Good to see you, Ibram. Welcome back. All right, let's jump into some role-playing game news because there's a new adventure supplement for Free League Publishing's Wasson role-playing game. It's out. It is available. Here's the dope on A Wicked Secret and Other Mysteries. Journey to the Mythic North and investigate 4 bone-chilling cases that will test your abilities to the fullest. This book contains 4 standalone mysteries for Wasson Nordic horror role-playing, playable on their own or as part of a longer campaign. In these pages, you will find the Silver of the Sea. The death of a preacher leads the characters to the rocky western archipelago, where something strange is afoot on Wrecker Isle. I do believe this adventure was being run for Spiel Digital this past weekend. I think this was the Watson adventure that Free League was running for folks out there. We also have, you guessed it, A Wicked Secret, like the title of the supplement. Travel to the deep forests of northern Sweden and investigate rumors of a mysterious beast in a remote village. What ancient evil lurks there? Then there's the Night Sow, which we are seeing some artwork from. Welcome to beautiful Mole, a city by the sea. I don't know if that's the pronunciation of the city. Just got to say. Known to many as the Heart of Sin, and now also for cold-blooded murder. Finally, we have the Song of the Falling Star. A cursed child, a strange instrument, and a desperate aristocrat travel to Ahrensburg on the island of Gosel and discover the horrible truth about what has happened there. The 112-page hardcover, including the PDF, is available for $41.43 from the Free League website. You can grab the PDF alone from Drive-Thru RPG. You can grab that for $14.99. Nice. I will point out $42 for 112-page hardcover, a little pricey. I think that's kind of pricey. First of all, I have Watson right here, and Flaming Heron's like, I'm still waiting for that review, Jeff. It's coming this week. Let's take a look. So let's see if we've got where it shows what the, it doesn't. I think this is $49.99. Somebody out there, I'm sure, can probably jump online, take a peek. And it is 234 pages, I think. Yeah, I'd say 234 because like you got an index and then you've got some Kickstarter backers being thanked. And this is $50. So the adventure booklet, I shouldn't say booklet, I'm sure it's a hardcover book. Does include the PDF, so there is that. But I don't know, $41.43, to me, that's a little pricey. I think that's kind of pricey. So, but that is from the Free League website. I'm not positive if Modifius Entertainment is still releasing some of the Free League products like they did before. And they're a little bit cheaper. So, all right. So Flaming Huron says, my friend bought every one of the Star Wars RPG products from Fantasy Flight Games. I think he spent $175 10 times over, I'm sure. So Melwinius says, yeah, that they had done enough spending on Fantasy Flight Games by getting the Lord of the Rings living card game packs and the Star Wars role-playing game. So, and we've talked about the Star Wars role-playing game before from Fantasy Flight Games, and it's supposed to be really well done. It throws me off that it's like everything, it's broken out into all these different books. So it's like, oh, well, if you want to have Jedi in it, well, you need to have this book. And if you want to have like Han Solo kind of characters, you got to have this book. And well, if you want to have Darth Vader in it, got to have this book. Don't know, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Free League or Free League, as the cool kids call it, because that's actually its name. This could be kind of cool. So yes, this review is also in the can. I actually have 4 reviews done. Just, I don't like to release more than one thing at a time. Plus, you got to keep in mind, this past weekend was my birthday, and we'll talk about that after the news. We got one final news piece. I'm pretty excited about this one because I think everybody knows I'm a big Call of Cthulhu fan. There is a new Call of Cthulhu campaign. It looks like it's huge. It's available in PDF from Chaosium Inc. I've got the dope on The Children of Fear. A campaign across Asia for the world's best horror game. What is with these companies now? They got to really, it's like the world's oldest role-playing game. The world's the most famous role-playing game. The world's only role-playing game that only uses 3-sided dice. But that's okay. I like Chaosium. A mysterious telegram plunges the investigators into an epic journey of intrigue and horror. Almost sounds like Massive Nyarlathotep, how that starts. What's inside the Children of Fear is an epic multi-part campaign for Call of Cthulhu. The scenarios within explore myths and legends of Central Asia and Northern India. It's a modular campaign. This player-led campaign allows the investigators to determine the journey they take. In addition, the plot is designed to be flexible, allowing for different scales or types of Cthulhu mythos involvement, all the way from the outer gods themselves down to a more low-key, occult-focused series of adventures. Guidance is provided for the keeper to tailor the exact nature of the threat to best suit their group's tastes. You can explore Asia through the Cthulhu mythos. The Children of Fear covers in details the sights, encounters, and dangers found in Peking, Sian, the Taklamakan, don't know if I even got that right, Peshawar, and Kham. Investigators will travel from China through northern India and on to Tibet, with detailed appendices covering travel, non-player characters, spells, a reference bibliography, and more. The book gives you everything you need to authentically create a unique experience at your gaming table. A wealth of player handouts and maps enhance both the player experience and immersion. The Children of Fear includes 6 pre-generated characters so players can jump right into the action. A host of non-player characters, all with their own agendas, accompany new Cthulhu Mythos monsters for use in any Call of Cthulhu scenario. This giant 414-page PDF is available at DriveThruRPG for $26.99. That is a damn good deal. Because, as I always say, if we're paying a little less than a dime per page, we're in good shape. It's when we start seeing these, 60-page PDFs and people want $30 for them. You're like, what? What are you smoking out there? This could be very, very cool. I do want to mention Michael O'Brien from Chaosium Inc. did touch base with me today to see if we wanted to review this. Whoops. What the heck? It's like, why did those suddenly pop up? Anyway, so yes, Michael O'Brien from Chaosium Inc. touched base with me to see if we would be interested in doing a review. So, of course, I do not do PDF reviews. In fact, I really don't do any written reviews anymore. I just don't have time. Shooting videos long enough. And if you watch my video reviews, you already know I do not script those. So it would take forever if I did. But Sammy's going to do a review for us. So I would take a guess. I probably have an email right now from Michael or Mob or Mob. Depends. I think it's Mob. I think he prefers Mob because, kind of like initials. So might actually have that. Could be kind of cool. So let's take a look at chat here. So Great A says the RPG scene is crowded. Who has time for them? Meaning more than 2 or 3 systems. Very few people, I think. This is what I think. I think the vast majority of role players out there play one system. Maybe it's Pathfinder, maybe it's D&D, maybe it's Call of Cthulhu, maybe it's something else. But I would take a guess, those who play Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons, that's the only ones that they play. It's people who kind of, the Call of Cthulhu, the Travelers, games like that, the Mutineer Zero, the Wassons, they probably play multiple systems. But I would take a guess most people would probably want to play one fantasy game, one horror game, one science fiction game. And I'll be the first to point out myself personally, if I'm going to play different kind of genres of role-playing games, I prefer to have each of those use a different mechanic system. I don't want the mechanics for all of them being like exactly the same. That's why I do share different game releases, role-playing game releases that are built on 5e. I don't know if I'd want to necessarily play like a pulp superhero game that's based on 5e. I don't know. I share that kind of stuff because people think it's interesting. So, all right. So the Madman says, 1 year after we get through Mad Mage, we'll jump on the Adventures in Middle-earth 5e campaign. So it says one Wednesday every other week for 3 or 4 hours doesn't get you far. Actually, no, it really doesn't. Grade A says that they play once a week on Fridays, and they have a family game on weekends. One of my friends from high school, my friend Daryl, who actually lives in the Chicago suburbs as well. Now, I don't know if he still does, but he was playing, like, they had a game night on Friday nights. And he was running, I believe it was Pathfinder, if I remember correctly. So, a grade A says, everyone's excitement for Rime of the Frost Maiden has declined. I told everybody it was all right, but it wasn't fantastic. A lot of people didn't like me because I wasn't sitting there going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Oh, tears are rolling down. Oh God, I've been blessed. I've been blessed with this review copy. Oh. But I thought it was interesting. Now watch the review if you want to hear my thoughts about it. All right, so I mentioned I was going to talk about a few different things. So first off, so Saturday was my birthday. I was so tempted to start the show off, and I have EQ'd the mic a little differently, so there might be a little more bass in it now. I don't know. Kevin Thorpe says, it was average. Yeah, that's kind of... Now, I can't even remember what review score I gave it. I think I gave it a 7. It was all right, you know? So Saturday was my birthday. Saturday also happened to be my sister-in-law's birthday. And then on Sunday, that's my mom's birthday. So, kind of funny. So we actually were able to get together on Saturday for a little bit of just, the immediate family. Nobody else. No, thank you. No, I do not want any of that COVID. Thank you. Thank you very much. Social distance, please. So I thought that was kind of funny. A lot of people don't realize that. So I am a year older than my sister-in-law. And then I always kid around that I was the worst birthday present my mom ever got, and she couldn't return me. So Philadelphia Piper's asking about if I know about the lawsuit between Wizards of the Coast and the Dragonlance authors Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. Yes, I do know of the lawsuit. Real quickly, I'll mention, all I really know is that there was an agreement between Wizards of the Coast and Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman saying that Wizards of the Coast wanted them to write some Dragonlance novels. And then Wizards of the Coast decided, nah, we're not going to have you do that. So of course, Weiss and Hickman are suing Wizards of the Coast. Now, I don't know what the deal is, because if it's something that was just verbal, I got to be honest, I don't think Weiss and Hickman are going to have much to stand on. It's not like they completed the work for hire submitted the novel, because I think they wanted 3. It's not like they submitted the novel and then suddenly Wizards of the Coast was like, no, no, we don't want it. Grade A says speculation is there were issues with content. As far as I understood, and like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of this stuff. I mean, I like the business side of the hobby, but not. So Madman says he had heard that Wizards of the Coast signed for 3 books and Weiss and Hickman had written the first. I don't know. Okay, so I'll point out, like I said, I did not research this very hard. So it was just basically, I ran across an article. I read what the article had to share. And I'm sure there's probably parts of the article I don't remember correctly, because it wasn't like something that was burned into my memory banks. So Philadelphia Piper says there is actually a video from Taking 20. Piper, what's going on, man? What's this recommending other channels during the stream? I'm joking. We sit here talking about Dan from No Enemies Here. He's got another channel. Anyway, it's that's a little too inside baseball for my personal tastes. Although, I mean, there's some stuff that I've heard over the years about different designers and things like that. I'm like, it's like, no, I'm not even going to comment about that. All right. Anyway, Dan has a channel. Yes, No Enemies Here. It's wargaming stuff. For the most part, it's conflict sim, stuff like that. Yeah, that's why I always say Dan from No Enemies Here. Who I don't know. He may have... Dan doesn't usually get to watch the entire show. So he may have left already and I missed it in chat. So my apologies for not saying goodbye to Dan if he left. All right. So anyway, so I was just kind of a great ace. I thought he just wore funny hats and holds brooms and picks mushrooms. I know he does that a lot too. And now you wonder why he acts all funny. Some shrooms. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I was gonna say before we start talking about the lawsuit, I was gonna start the show by hello, everybody, like acting like really old, because it was my birthday the other day, and I thought, nah, people would be like, what the hell is that? I don't get it. What the hell's Jeff doing? Anyway, if you could, if the sound sounds pretty good, let me know. Like I said, I did a little different EQ, so maybe kind of brought the higher end down a little bit, brought the lower end up a little bit, because to me it sounded like I had a little too much treble. Almost sounded like my voice was a little too high. All right, second thing, got some new stuff for review. Sweet. Thank you, Piper, for a belated birthday. I know there were quite a few people who were out there. I think it was like Wednesday's show that were wishing me a happy birthday. I was like, I didn't say anything. I was like, yeah, it's Saturday. But I appreciate anybody who had wished me a happy birthday. So. All right. Anyway, got some new stuff for review. So I received from Osprey Games, because it's finally back in stock. Undaunted Normandy. Hooray! Hooray! Scott Nelson's in chat. Welcome aboard, Scott. So got that from Osprey Games, as well as Undaunted North Africa. That showed up. So this is the newer of the two. So I am kind of curious about Undaunted Normandy, and I do see it's got Dice Tower Seal of Excellence and the Shut Up and Sit Down recommends. Yeah. So what did that cost these guys, right? I had heard from Great A's even pointing out the Dice Tower sticker. And I'm not saying anything about, oh God, oh, the dice tower recommended it's crap. I don't mean that at all. But I had heard from some serious grognards that they had some issues with Undaunted. Don't know. Haven't played it. Haven't even opened up the box. But I have heard good things from other people about it. Kind of ahistorical cover, though. If you know what I mean. I don't know. All right. And I also got The King is Dead. This is the new edition of The King is Dead, designed by Pierre Sylvester, who also did Lost Expedition, which we are big fans of. So kind of a lightweight game. So that is another one. So I got a nice package from Osprey. Also received, we did a news piece about this. A Great A says, I don't think Grogs are the target audience. Probably not. But I mean, it is Osprey. So, and I know their game division is a bit different, but I mean, Osprey made their name and they still continue to on historical books. I mean, anybody who paints historical miniatures has tons of Osprey books. You got to, because they've got all the colored plates inside for uniforms, stuff like that. Anyway, I did a news piece about this last week. Well, I got the special, I think this is the Survivor bundle. Oh, Survival bundle. Board Royale, The Island. And so kind of interesting. Kind of fun. So we will see. So Great A says they own Osprey books. I used to have tons of Osprey books. Because I used to paint 15 millimeter American Civil War. I did some Napoleonics. I painted everything from 6 millimeter up to 1/6 scale figures. Not anymore, though. And then Amigo, out of nowhere, I got this one, none of a kind. So this just showed up today. And looks like kind of like it might be a party game, kind of family game. So it's like the challenging no match, a brain teaser game. So that's what showed up over the past few days. It's pretty nice. Another thing, I ordered a new phone, new smartphone. So now I guess I should say a new refurbished smartphone. But I actually ordered a OnePlus 7 Pro because I saw a lot of reviews which basically were saying that it was an excellent phone. And I got it for a steal. I mean, not like it's stolen, but. All right. So Scott Nelson says, I like to see some of the war games. Not many channels review them, but the mechanisms used in war games are still intriguing, especially a lot of the newer war games. They're not just hex and counter games anymore. Not just, some of them don't even have hexes, more along the lines of area control. So yes, we share GMT stuff. I usually do a lot of unboxing stuff. I have not had a chance to review a lot of the GMT stuff recently because of the pandemic, because Elliot Miller, my best friend, is usually the person I play against to review that kind of stuff. So, all right. So Game Roleplay says, hi, Jeff. Howdy. Welcome aboard. Long time I was not able to follow the show live because of the time zone. But anyways, following the YouTube channel, thank you very much. So Great A says, no Paizo Pathfinder 2 beginner box? I still got tons of Paizo stuff. Sam is going to try to review some of the Starfinder stuff. But that isn't out yet, right? Isn't that November? I know Paizo did an unboxing video. I wasn't aware that there were a lot of other people out there doing unboxings for the Pathfinder 2 beginner box. So from what I've experienced so far, and this is certainly not a knock on Paizo, but when they send me physical stuff, it's like after the fact. They're not sending me things that are like as an example, Wizards of the Coast. What do we got? The Tasha's Cauldron of I don't know stuff. Tasha's Cauldron of Stuff is coming out. I think that's November. I will probably have that anywhere from a week to 2 weeks before it hits stores. So I expect that to be coming out soon enough. So, and I try to, if it shows up, boom, I'm shooting the first look video right then. I usually have all the graphics, the opening graphics done for the D&D stuff. So when it shows up, I open the box, go, all right, let's get down into the duct tape studios and, you know, light everything up. Let's go. Let's light this candle. All right, here's the last thing. And this is maybe kind of a bummer. I don't know. So last week's numbers for viewers of the show was crap. And I understand I am not everybody's cup of tea. I know that. But we were starting to hit like 150, 200 views, which I don't expect tons of people to watch the Daily Dope. I just don't. But it seemed like we were turning a corner and we were starting to pull in over 100 views on every episode until last week. And then suddenly last few episodes, last week, numbers were crap. So I don't know. I got to be honest. And I've said this before, if it turns out, and I understand people are busy doing stuff. I get it. I understand that. I don't expect people to be watching live. I'm surprised we have as many people watching live as we do. But if I'm only pulling 75, 80 views an episode, it's really not worth it for me doing this show. It's really not. I could be spending that time cranking out reviews. Although I don't, somebody had told me, well, Scott has a good point. Spiel was on. But you know what? We had good viewer numbers during Gen Con Online and things like that. So I don't know. That might be the case. I don't know. It's possible. Then again, people might be dead tired of my shtick. They're like, I'm not watching this. I'm going to go watch that guy who's got the video about the lawsuit for Wizards of the Coast, Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. But yeah, I mean, that is a possibility. But I'm just pointing it out, just mentioning that. It wouldn't be like, I'm like, all right, I'm done now. I would probably go up to like episode 600. That would probably get us through the year. So Game Roleplay says, don't worry, Jeff. You always have your fan base. Yeah, the website, gaminggang.com, does really well. It pulls in a good amount of traffic. So it's not... This is the funny thing. People don't realize the videos, like the Daily Dope, that's just like icing on the cake. It's the game videos as well as the website that drive traffic. All I'm saying is, I mean, if we're sitting there and because I've been doing this is episode 561 and I don't do a show every day. We only do like 4 nights a week now. For about the past year or so. But yeah, I don't want to see numbers like falling off a cliff. Then I'll get to the point where, like when I first started doing this, where I was just kind of talking to myself. So I'm not in a bad mood or anything. Don't worry. I think it's obvious I'm not. But it's just something that I have been thinking about. So just, I'm transparent. I like to share things with the viewers and that. You pretty much know what's going on. All right. So Great Ace says that they were hoping Paizo had sent review copies of the Pathfinder Beginner Box out. You know what? I believe they will. because that's how I got the Starfighter beginner box, was as a review copy. I just don't know when they will. And I think part of it is that their marketing person is a little overwhelmed, I think, because got to keep in mind how much stuff comes out from Paizo on a monthly basis. It's a lot of stuff. It's not like, hey, and the thing is, that's actually somebody from Paizo. It's not a team from like a PR company, which is what Wizards of the Coast uses. So, so Flaming Huron says it's weird because you tried no news, and now you've been doing news videos only for a while, and it hasn't been an issue till now. Well, our numbers are never like amazing. It's not as if like, oh, wow, we've had 300 people watch this video. That doesn't happen. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, we were in a stretch where it was like, wow, we're not just squeaking over 100. We'd have like 130, 150. There was one that was over 200, or maybe there were two that were over 200 views. And I understand, I have had people tell me before that I release too much content. And that is not good on YouTube, to have too much content, because it spoils people. I don't know. Like, I know how these things work, right? But I could see where that would be something to keep in mind, that it's like, I know there are a lot of people out there, very, very popular people out there, not just necessarily talking about gaming, who they do one video a week, 2 videos a week, and they pull in loads and loads of viewers. Of course, they've got good content, don't get me wrong. But I think it's also where you've got some folks who are like, oh, well, it's Wednesday, so I know Joe Bob's got a new video out because he posts every Wednesday morning. So anyway, cool. So Game Roleplay says that the Gaming Gang website is really great. I do take pride in that. It is probably one of the more popular gaming websites that people don't seem to talk about. But I do pull in a good amount of traffic, that I will say. So one last thing, we were talking about Drive-Thru RPG. Keep in mind, when I'm talking about PDFs over at any of the One Bookshelf sites, the Gaming Gang, thus the Daily Dope, are affiliates of the One Bookshelf site. So if you are going to go head over to Drive-Thru RPG, I don't know, maybe to go check out that Call of Cthulhu, The Children of Fear, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads, and that way, if you do happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters add up and really do help keep the Gaming Gang website around. Really appreciate the people out there who do visit the Gaming Gang first. And there are a lot of people who do that. So very, very happy that they do that. So the Madman says that they were just over at Drive-Thru today and they used our banner ad. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know the Madman does that quite a bit. So Flaming Heron says that he knows a few content creators that become burnt out because they do the same or similar content as others, don't get the views, and they aren't long videos. That's another thing. I'm sure if my videos were 10 minutes long, I'd get more views, because I think people see, like right now we're at minute 4 for this show, and people see that and they're like, I don't want, what could he talk about for an hour? Yeah, I know, but I do my own thing. Just like I have people tell me all the time, your review videos are too long. Then go watch the 3-minute video review guy. Big deal. So, how can we reach you by email? Is the question from Game Roleplay. It's Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com. You can go to thegaminggang.com and you will see It's not a contact link. I don't know. I've got, there's different ways to find the email address if you need it. Brian says your review videos definitely aren't too long. Flaming Heron says, I don't get streams that aren't over 30 minutes. I want time to interact. So keep going. Well, thank you. Well, I assume the people who are watching this are probably like, yeah, you know, I like what you do, Jeff. Although I think there's probably somebody floating out here watching this show. I shouldn't say probably. I know they are. Who just comes by to give it a thumbs down, which is like, okay. Still interacting with the video. It's engagement. So, all right. That is it for tonight's show. As I always like to point out, if you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Not that thumbs down, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe, ring that notification bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live, right here on YouTube, Monday through Thursday nights, it'll also let you know when I upload, say, a review video, such as the upcoming Wasson role-playing game review. Yes, I know. People have been waiting for this. Don't have to wait too much longer. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, everybody who watched live, we had a good chat going tonight. So we had quite a few people hanging out. We're like, yeah, Bears, Rams. Pfft, I'm not watching Monday Night Football, although we got a lot of people who are also watching outside the United States. Maybe there was some other kind of football that was on, right? Ditto. Anyway, thank you very much for hanging out. And of course, I know a lot of people out there don't have an opportunity to watch live. But even if you're watching after the fact, even if it's on Memorex, super appreciate that as well. Of course, everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday night / Tuesday morning. I will be back tomorrow. And of course, as I've been closing out all the videos during this never-ending pandemic, which only seems to be getting worse, please be smart and stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, you're still here. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, click right here. And of course, if you want to see one of the latest episodes of the Daily Dope, click right on up here. And if you want to roll the dice, take your chances, see what YouTube thinks you might like from the channel, give a click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and I'll see you next time.